Last year I baked a toast bread and I posted about it on Facebook. So people started asking, can you show us how to do that? And I promised to do it. It's been a while, I didn't forget, so today's the day where I show you how I bake toast bread. The ingredients that you will need are 500 grams of flour, half a tablespoon of vinegar, half a tablespoon of honey, 40 grams of butter, an egg yolk, 15 grams of malt, and in case you don't know what it is, I'm using this product. I will put a link below this video so you can find it on Amazon. You also need 10 grams of salt, a package of active dry yeast, and 300 milliliter of lukewarm milk. Preparing the dough is pretty simple. So I first put in the flour and the butter, the malt, mix this a little bit, also the egg yolk, then the yeast, half a tablespoon of the vinegar, and half a tablespoon of honey. And then I'm adding the milk, and I wait a little bit before I add the salt. There are actually, I didn't know that, there are recipes where you mix the salt with the yeast. That is a different technique that I haven't tried yet, but I will definitely soon try that one. But for now I will stick to the technique that I'm usually using and avoid to get the yeast and the salt in contact. Okay, I will knead this for a few minutes and then I will add the salt. Yes, and now I will let this knead for 10 minutes. All right. Let's take a look at the dough. Yeah, it's elastic, but I'm not satisfied yet. I will knead it for a few more minutes just to make sure it has the necessary elasticity. Okay, let's take a look at the dough. Okay, it has become nice and very, very smooth, very nice. So what I'm doing now is I cut the dough in half. I measure, and then I will fold it to the top, turn it, fold it to the top, turn it. And I just keep doing this for a little bit. You know this probably from my other bread recipes. Okay. And there needs to be a little bit of tension in this dough that is created by this technique. You can see this here. Same here. Okay, and all I need to do now is I roll this. And my baking pans are a little bit larger than they're supposed to be. However, that's what I have. There are special toast bread baking pans, and they have a lid which is necessary for this kind of bread. However, I found a different solution for me because I already have like 4 or 5 baking pans and I don't feel like I need any more. So I'm doing it a little bit different, but know that there are certain baking pans for toast bread. I will put a link below the video so you can find that. However, for what I have right now, I am using what I have, and I put these in here. And also into the other baking pan. As I said, they are a little bit too large, but I think I'm fine with that. So I press it a little bit in here so it goes into the corners. Press it a little bit down. With a smaller baking pan, this would be a lot higher. Alright, and now I will cover this and let it rest and rise for 1 hour. Yeah, so look at this. The dough has more than doubled its size. It's very, very nice and kind of fluffy. And I will bake this now. I preheated the oven to 410 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 250 degrees Celsius. And I will bake it at that temperature for 10 minutes, and then I will lower the temperature to 410 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 210 degrees Celsius. Since my baking pans do not have the lid that the original toast bread baking pans have, so this is what I'm doing. This is my little trick. I use a regular baking sheet and put it on top after I put the pans into the oven, and just to make sure that this doesn't pop up, I will put something heavy on it, like these stones that I usually use when I'm baking bread to make it crisp, which in this case I don't need to do. So I'm using these 2 things just to make a cover on top of my baking pans, and that works just as fine as the little more expensive toast bread baking pans. After baking this bread last night, I let it cool completely and then put it in a plastic bag overnight. So it's morning now, time for breakfast, and what's better for breakfast than toast? Let's see how this has turned out. So here you can see it is very nice and fine, and I will cut a nice slice or 2 to put into the toaster. And there it is, my delicious fresh toast. I will enjoy this now with some of my homemade orange marmalade or jam. And this is a fantastic breakfast, just as I like it. And it's a little less German today, it's a little more British maybe. This is really good. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and wait for the next video that is coming up in a moment.